Hey guys, welcome to my J-Team vs Splyce VOD review. Last time they matched up, J-Team was able to take a game on Splyce, and Splyce honestly looked pretty weak in the first half of groups, but they were able to make it out of Group B as second seed. So let's see how they managed it. Let's see how they beat J-Team. Let's see how a team that looked so bad in play-ins and the first week of groups turned it around.
In the summer regular season.
Let's get started with the draft.
In the top two here in the World's Group Stage.
And here we go, pick and ban getting kicked off. See what the focus will be for both sides.
A GP ban.
Last time was a lane swap from Splyce, a bit of a disastrous early game. See if they can turn it around.
Pantheon ban from red side. I'm very standard now.
Because I wouldn't have been shocked to see a GP first pick with how good
Kiana ban, a good ban towards Humanoid, good ban towards Xerxes.
I really want to save my last pick here.
Syndra, flexible pick that can be played in both mid and bottom in the meta right now.
Has been dominant and really crushed them.
Nautilus.
Yeah, it's a strategy that Splyce go for a lot because I think their drafts are fairly
no hard feelings
predictable in that
one way
they
or
go
the
for
other.
Safe, blind, pickable options in the top lane, like the Gangplank. We've seen the Gnar taken very early for this team as well, and then they hold on to the picks to make sure they can have a really strong 2 versus 2 bottom lane, so Humanoid can have a counter. It always feels like the Splyce formula is one that
Rakan. Support pool got pinched a lot.
That does mean that they are very predictable coming into a draft.
Now the first pick can come through. See what the priority is.
First pick Jace? No way.
Jace would be an interesting one. Mixed success, of course, over the
Tristana actually makes somewhat of a sense.
A number of flexibility. Never mind, as a team. We'll see what they're going to go for.
Xayah.
No surprise.
Xayah coming through, despite the fact that
Lil B looked really good on Xayah, and then you're just trading Xayah with Kai'Sa.
Does certainly pair well up with other things too, but Nautilus and Rakan are kind of the go-to supports generally alongside this, so going to be interested to see where they want to take us, if they want to look for something a little bit more aggressive, like the Leona even that we saw Norscaron bring out before.
Yeah, I'm not personally sold on the Norscaron and Leona. I think a lot of these champions...
What about the Koala, Leona?
Leona doesn't make that much sense when the enemy team won't have Rakan.
When I look at Norscaron, I actually want to see him gravitate towards something like the
Jungle AD, one of the most standard first rotation from purple side, or red side, excuse me.
Champions, sometimes he just chooses the wrong moments to go in. I think Thresh gives him the ability to wait.
Jarvan, take the Galio here. Whenever people take Jarvan, I love seeing it getting paired with Galio. Galio support is more than viable, and also you can put Galio mid if the matchup is fine enough too, especially with Jarvan. That gives you a really good team fight core to start the draft off with.
Does he actually want to go in on that hook? And
Kale.
Safe options.
I like Kale, but I also think Galio would have been great.
The ability to disengage or engage on that support.
Let's see what people are picking into Kale.
A little bit more comfort.
I personally really like Rise into Kale.
In the Leona game, particularly in that dive that was really overforced.
And speaking of comfort, Xerxes getting his hands on the Gragas, but the cost is that he now has to give up the Kale over to the side of J-Team.
Thresh
has been a wonderfully powerful champion thus far.
Wow, now they can protect the Kale pick much as possible with bans. I'm surprised Splyce didn't pick into Kale and they just blinded Thresh.
The tournament, they're going to get the Jarvan as well, but there it is. You asked for it. Splyce deliver, Ender. It is the Thresh for Norscaron.
Yep, I like this a whole lot coming through from Splyce. Has the ability to proc those plasma stacks relatively easily. Also with the Lantern, very good lane gank setup too for a champion like Xerxes, like the Gragas coming through from Xerxes into the bottom lane. And a lot of games, Splyce love to play around this 2 versus 2 in the bottom lane with initiation tools. We've seen stuff like the Veigar cage next to the Thresh in the past, and while Kai'Sa won't have that same CC, the Thresh always opens up those gank routes.
I wonder if Splyce is going to ban out Morgana. They've already taken Blitz away, which is considered a very good answer to the Thresh, so Morgana, I think, would pair well with the Xayah, be a good answer to some of the initiation here. Also works incredibly well alongside Kale, because Kale ultimate plus Morgana shield equals immunity to everything.
And you also have J-Team now banning away these longer range scaling options that you can take up against the Kale later on. So
Morg ban, Morg Blitz, good ban from Splyce.
Here. Maybe even a Corki too, something we saw Humanoid play a whole lot during the regular season, but removing the scaling outranging tools as well.
And removing the Morgana as well as predicted Azale. So limiting some of the more comfortable options for the bottom side of J-Team. See what Koala wants to go to. So many supports have been banned away in the draft now. 4. He's going to have to drop down the tier list a little bit to find something, but the Akali will be the final ban as we head into the next pick phase.
It could be something very defensive, like the Braum, if he doesn't really want to commit too heavily, but most of the common pairings
they have to take their counter pick into Kill here and save the last pick for top lane.
And try to bully a lane.
What do you guys want to kill?
Pretty high risk against something like Thresh plus Gragas.
Wow, they're gonna blind top and then save the mid pick? Why? You already know Kale's gonna go mid.
Splyce get to wait out. Is the Kale definitely going into the mid laner's hands for Fofo? That's where we've seen it.
I feel like Kale can only go mid. Kale top is trash.
They can give that counter pick, as you mentioned much earlier, towards Humanoid.
I want to see if Rest is going to go for something aggressive. Does he bring out the Aurelia? Does he have the confidence to try to slam this Gnar in lane? Because he is sitting with counter pick right now. Kled, it can be something that works in a Gnar. It is pretty difficult because you have to hit multiple jousts.
I think Kennen here would have been really good. Kennen Jarvan and Kennen Kale both work really nicely together, and Kennen's a good pick into Gnar. Whenever Kennen goes in, Kale can ult. Whenever Jarvan goes in, Kennen can follow. Like, there's just a lot of internal synergy within those champions. I think Kennen here would have been perfect for J-Team.
Qs to be able to kind of get his jump on cooldown.
All the star support.
Then you can maybe all in.
Wow, I think Kennen Galio would have rounded out this comp so nicely. Kennen Galio, then you have the team fight comp with guaranteed engage. You also don't lose the split push to Gnar either. That would have made this draft so good.
So you have to play it really, really aggressively, and we'll see if it works out.
I mean, the potential for the double flex is there, even if it feels unlikely. If Gnar just wants to farm it on the top side, Kale could look to match, so potentially locking that
Rumble's also okay. Rumble's Jarvan at least, nice combo.
Final pick into the Thresh Kai'Sa lane.
I think it's going to be Kale mid almost for sure. It can be pretty difficult playing Kale in the long lane, especially in the early levels with ganking options like Gragas around there. So giving Kale the defensive ability to kind of sit back, and this is one of Humanoid's champions that he's really well known for.
And you talk about late game scaling insurance, the Cassiopeia is definitely
Cassio
going
into
to be
Kale.
there. And
Okay.
against all these targets,
I actually played this matchup yesterday in solo queue.
Stuff like the Twin Fangs, Leandri's Torment alongside it is going to give you the ability to cut through the front line. That 2v2 pair of Cassio and Kai'Sa will be absolutely devastating later on in the match.
I also think it's an incredible disengage or counter-engage type tool. When you have the Kled ultimate flying in, everyone running through, you have the Northscare and Box coming out from the Thresh, you have the Miasma to be able to actually slow down and block a lot of these people who are trying to dash in on top of you, the ultimate Gragas to split people up. So
Kale.
a
Alright, let's
lot
see how
of
good
tools
this
here
is.
for Splyce to absorb and then counter engage.
And to also just punish inside the laning phase. Kale needs time to scale up. You're going to get punished every single time you walk into last hit in this laning phase. So both sides have good
Kale just has to play defensive before 6.
So
or yeah, until 6. Until she hits level 6, she just has to let the lane go a little bit. And then after level 6, then she can really start playing.
That's crucial. As they move into a game, they lose.
Cassio Kale, both nice scalers, but
to make it out of groups, CTBC J-Team looking.
I'm gonna lean a little bit towards Kale in like 2 items, 3 items. I think Kale is much better than Cassio, especially with her Q. Her Q is so good. Kai'Sa Cassio versus Xayah Kale, who has better backline. I think backline is pretty even for both those. It really depends on what supporting pieces you're pairing up with it. Who has better scaling?
Here we go, J-Team versus Splyce. Splyce looking to tie it up, put both teams at 2-2. As J-Team look to pull ahead.
Probably J-Team slightly better scaling, like not by much though. All-Star better than Thresh later.
News, I think, for many Splyce fans.
Kled Gnar pretty even, Jarvan Gragas pretty even, maybe a little bit better for Jarvan. Kale Xayah, Cassio, Kai'Sa pretty even. So I would probably say slightly better scaling for J-Team.
Right, you're stacking up HP with this. A lot of the resolve, as well as splashing into domination here for more healing there from Taste for Blood and things like this is going to make it really tough for the Kled to all in you. And if you can't all in the Gnar, you don't really have much going on in this matchup.
Yeah, I wonder if Vizichachi even has the Demolish there. As a range versus melee matchup, you assume he has push advantage too, and while Gnar is pretty low range in those early levels before he does get to scale up, can look for plates in this matchup. The one thing I am a little bit concerned about for Vizichachi is this is a player that often receives a lot of jungle attention. But from the enemy jungler. He gets ganked a whole lot in the top lane, and if he does expose himself, I think the Jarvan at level 2...
I'm pretty curious why they opted into Gnar versus Kled matchup. It seems so troll.
Will connect, so a small but positive trade. Kled just going to continue walking forward.
He's got Conqueror.
He's just going to keep walking him down.
And this is fine for Pled.
He's going to go to grab him again.
Oh my. If you're going to flash, just there's no way you should miss that. Holy fuck, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Oh my god, this guy's actually trolling. He's legit just trolling. What the hell?
It was off to such a good start for Rest as well. You know, this guy had burned the flash from Vizichachi, but is late to follow. And then Xerxes is on the Raptors. Rest had made the call thinking Xerxes maybe he's on the bottom side of the map, but that was just not forward thinking. And now he's out of TP, a flash, and a kill.
Yeah, what he really had to do was pre-flash. You got to flash early so you're right on top of him. So even if he flashes, then you can actually pull him back. And I think you get that first blood if you early flash.
Or, and hear me out, Azael, don't flash into the fog of war when you don't know where the enemy jungler is.
I think you can actually not die. If you go in, if you pre-flash,
Jarvan 3 camp topside? What the fuck?
And I don't think that a jungler can solo kill you before you can remount.
Yeah, I mean, if he remounts, yeah, he definitely turns that around.
And all I'll say is,
oh, 3 camp topside. What the fuck is this path thing?
It just has to feel bad to miss out on that one. But
oh yeah,
is this an actual path thing? Oh my god, sorry about that. I got a Facebook message from someone.
Anyone getting that lag?
Weird bug on stage happened where I just looked really dumb for a second. That's not supposed to happen.
On the bright side,
That's
Rest
just
has now won
AF.
the jungle matchup for his team because Han is able to run in for the
he was
red
making
buff.
space.
Yeah, he's making space for his
Holy fuck, he actually got the red buff. Wait, he did 3 camp topside, re-invaded, got the red buff. What the fuck? What is this
It's
path
a
thing?
genius play. No, Hana had actually gone for a clever path where he cleared the top side of his jungle, and most teams would assume then the Jarvan passed towards bottom side, but looked for a gank himself. There was a ward that spotted him out, but because Xerxes skipped over his red buff, which he likes to do a lot because he values getting the experience of the Krugs and Raptors so quickly, he almost
They're
died
so
before,
focused
so
on
he had
killing
to give up
topside, but
on,
Vizichachi knows.
And as we look away from the top side, I think important to highlight once again.
Oh, this guy's wasting so much time. Why are you going towards a wave that's pushed in all the way?
Last time we saw this matchup, it was a very, very difficult game for both Kave and Humanoid. And when you compare their effectiveness to that of Fofo's LeBlanc, we see Fofo outmatching in damage.
Oh, don't dive to Alistar. You can't do it. It's an Alistar. Don't do it. It's an Alistar. Don't do it.
Root is there, locked up under tower. North Scared. Is it going to happen again?
Oh.
He's so incredibly low. Won't be able to get anything else. North Scared just barely able to survive.
Koala didn't get his Ignite off, or that's probably a kill. He was actually so low. I think
That was
he
so dangerous. What are they doing?
Not quite able to get the summoner out in time. And Splyce, I mean, what is that dive? That's just
ambitious.
So ambitious.
Yeah, Xerxes.
That's a kind way to put it.
Yeah, it's definitely a kind way to put it because I don't think you're ever getting a kill right there with all summoners available.
J4 farm.
Away from the tower, but now
take the double golems. Take your Krugs.
Super carefully because Hana has sort of split the map now, and Xerxes.
Oh, he's overdoing things so much. You're never gonna have mid prio on any of your ganks, by the way. Not pretty safe.
Look at it. Koala still has Ignite. North Scared's only alive because Koala did not push Ignite in that play, but maybe they're trying to just lock him down. Hana, Rest coming through, TP onto the bottom
just
side.
take your double golems. Holy shit.
Pull away. Lil B gonna look to set up it up. Koala will drop in the end. Good TP from Humanoid.
And you were right, Ender. 3v3 wasn't that good, but they had the TP coming through here from the mid lane. And
why is he so focused on ganking?
You really don't offer anything.
There's been so much free farm on the map, especially with how jungle pathing worked out for early game Gragas versus Jarvan.
And now even though Xerxes was, invaded and lost his red buff, he's coming immediately over with that mid lane pressure he has because Humanoid walked straight back there. So he is able to steal those Raptors. Double check if he actually got them. He did end up getting those, I do believe.
Wow.
Now checking in.
He could have farmed so much.
You can see Fofo taking a more
the Gragas was trolling.
Yeah, so he did just leave one of those Raptors.
The Gragas was trolling, enemy bot lane was trolling. And then he decided, oh man, everyone's trolling, I guess I should troll too.
So it ends up missing on towards Hana, so they can't get that
take Krugs, red, Wraith, take Gromp, reset, finish your jungle item, get back on the map, take your Krug the second time, contest for Scuttle, get to level 6 fast, keep helping out the Kayle.
It's just a well-orchestrated play there from Splyce.
Or you could try to gank the Gnar, who had his wave pushing into him. Watch the enemy bot lane fail a dive, and then try to get a gank going on a pushed in wave. Like, he just wants to gank so badly, he doesn't care about the waves at all.
And this is, remember, 15th out of 16 mid laners in this, so he's actually tied for the most deaths, most ISO deaths. I believe it's actually with Niski.
Yeah, you look at it too, he's having a super heavy impact in the early game. And that's sort of the Splyce story where they do have successful early games, just like you can see with Humanoid on the screen, but it's then getting caught out in transition because Splyce will often fan out to 3 lanes in the mid game, and then those people farming in side lanes don't have the vision support, they overextend, and
Jarvan's a level behind Gragas. This is hurting me on a spiritual level.
Usually don't transition into quick finishes.
I'm hurt on a spiritual level.
They get picked way too much.
But now they've got the early start once again, so as we look towards the mid game, look for them to turn it around. But for Humanoid, has to be careful here. Kale ulti, of course, up and available. And J4 waiting around, could potentially fish for a dive. They're very difficult against the Petrifying Gaze. Good dash out. Bizachachi on the top side, going even for now in the match.
Getting your blue taken away.
And despite the really quick start here for Hana, he's still level 4, and it's past 7 minutes into the game. So
never
really
checking that brush.
To pick up some
never
want
to take that pink ward.
Raptors taken away. Now he just lost his blue buff there to Xerxes, and Xerxes going to get the jump here.
Humanoid though, taking a lot of damage. Xerxes, smooth body slam over the wall to get away from the flag and drag there.
Smooth.
Quick moves out of Xerxes, but as you said, he does have that level lead, and that's going to come down to the efficiency in his pathing. You know, even though he did lose the red buff, he got the camps that mattered most. He was able to walk in, steal away the enemy Raptor camp too, so he will be spotted out here on this ward, but I think Xerxes is on the path now towards level 6 and should be looking to use that soon. Humanoid's real low.
But this is a level 4 jungler. Like, you could die so fast if you actually mess this up.
They do have Kayle ult, but no flash on Hana.
And I just have to wonder if Jarvan could be spending his time better somewhere else. There's just no camps up and available. He's so very far behind in terms of experience.
I mean, he's now setting up to try and invade onto this red buff, but again, he's at a 2-level deficit. Maybe he could smite that away, but then you immediately lose the ensuing fight. A little surprised to see Xerxes not walk in there. He knows he doesn't have mid lane pressure because Humanoid had to go to base, so he makes the decision. He'll take even more EXP off that mid lane wave and give up this red once again.
And honestly, just very fortunate for Hana that he is able to take away this red buff, that he is able to grab this buff, get to level 5, still woefully behind the Gragas. Both these champions need that level 6 to be at maximum efficiency.
Yeah, he just hit 5. Xerxes is sitting at about 6.5, you know, 6 2/3 or so. So certainly quite a bit ahead already. And he has his flash available. His Predator is going to be coming up here pretty shortly. He has the ultimate, so he has all of his playmaking tools to really try to go and make something happen on the map.
Yeah, Xerxes has got an 800 gold lead at the moment too. One thing he likes to do is go for very early bases and then stay on the map until he can actually finish off his first jungle item. Not necessarily looking for the ganks, but looking for that big spike. Now he will be resetting while Hana does have the ability to play a little bit more aggressive. And this is one of the weaknesses with how Xerxes does path is that
the Gragas was level 7, Jarvan level 6.
Test, but there you see it now. The runic echoes. This is when he looks to fight. Looking towards
this is a really strong spike for Gragas. Predator with upgraded jungle item.
Can try to make a play, whether that's a kill or just
J4 has to match the gank here.
Now, has
if Gragas gets the flash engage on Kayle, if Gragas gets the flash engage on Kled, anywhere he ganks, if he gets the good flash engage, they'll get a kill.
A bit more aggressively from Fofo. He knows exactly where the enemies are. Has to still be careful, though. Past the level 6 point, so he is ranged now, but can't really afford to approach the Cassio too aggressively with the Thresh kind of waiting in the darkness here, looking to go for a play. Ulti. Humanoid continues to push forward, and Fofo very patient on the Kayle ult there.
Even though they did spot the jungler, they've cleared out so much of this vision now, it's pretty difficult to actually face check into the Thresh, into the Cassio, so Splyce will just take this dragon, and J-Team really have no ability to even try to actually contest it.
I mean, this is where Splyce are completely in their element. When it's these set plays around the 10-minute mark, they decided, look, we had the resets, we timed them together so Xerxes and Norskaeren could be back on the map first. That meant J-Team's jungler support bot lane, they were late to return back onto the map. So as this red side team that has a very easy time walking into that bot side river, they can quickly pick up that Drake and now have all the vision control too to deny plays around that bottom side of the map.
And the gold tells such a
for
clear
J-Team
story
if they don't get anything done right now, but game
not
slowly slipping away. Everyone's building slow leads in lane. Top lane, bot lane. They're taking dragon.
That might change though.
This 2v2 is really hard also. Yeah, this 2v2 is really hard.
Xerxes still gonna go, but no.
Stopwatch.
A beautiful stopwatch deny it there. The barrel.
The poison didn't hit. He should have waited for the flash.
Humanoid used the Q a split second too early there, so the poison not there to finish off Fofo. But they do get the stopwatch to get the ultimate. A lot of major cooldowns burned there by Fofo to survive.
Finally,
and the
a hole
fallout from
opening
this
up in
play
mid
could
lane.
be that top lane or bottom lane have to sacrifice.
Now it's so vulnerable for the Kayle, and Gragas got to save his flash. Cassio got to save her flash. Next time they gank, both will have flash Kayle kill
Humanoid
won't have
can
flash,
teleport
it's going to be
in
really
towards this
bad.
topside play.
Cersei zooming up to the top side of the map.
Also, it was right after the
Comes down
kill,
to spot the
TP'd in
There's
lane.
one very
Ooh,
fast
3-man dive
Batman
with
running
Cassio
in.
Prio. Let's see
They're
it.
going to fish for the play. The Kled all going to try to use to escape, but you walk right
What was
into
that,
Cersei.
Kled? Don't flash here,
Humanoid's
Kled. Don't flash here,
second
Kled. Don't flash here,
from
Kled.
Humanoid, and it looks like that's just going to be it for
Kled was
Rest.
trolling.
That's just a great.
He had to try to outplay
teleport,
under
and
turret. What the fuck was he doing?
Splyce, being able to use this Cassio for early proactive plays is not something
Herald.
you often can do.
Now the question is, can J Team stop
They
this? They're
one-shot
going
it,
on.
a lot of damage. They're just trying to knock Humanoid out the flash out to safety, but it will
Oh,
not
he
be
doesn't
enough.
have
That is the
ult. I'm trolling.
shutdown. Koala going to grab it. A little bit awkward, but happy to have.
You often
Even with Alistar not being here, there's potentially J4 here. And also Kill can move in. So I think it was kind of troll of Humanoid to not go all the way around. He has to, like, imagine, hey, there's a huge threat from this side.
can do.
Now the question is, can J Team stop
They
this? They're going
a
on.
lot of damage. They're just trying to knock
He
Humanoid out
burned
the flash
flash
out to
and
safety,
died
but it
too.
will not be enough. That is the shutdown.
It was just
Koala
really
gonna
dumb
grab
of
it.
him
A
to
little
go
bit
that
awkward,
side
but
when they didn't
happy
have
to the
control.
kill.
And I actually
this
also
exact
think
same
Herald
play
start
happening to
was kind
Splyce
of
in the
troll.
regular season, where they go top lane.
Herald start
after the
when
10-minute
both
mark,
their
they
bot
get
lanes
the
going
kill,
bot
and
side.
then they walk into the river, but
They
they
could've
don't
waited on the
respect
Herald a lot more.
possibility for the enemy team to be there. They jump on Humanoid and get that
Just
kill.
a little
and
too
because
over
Splyce's
greedy.
dual lane had gone for the reset and not pathed up into the top side, well, Norscair and Kabe aren't there to help in this situation. So the initial play is fantastic from Splyce, but they aren't aware of all those moving pieces and they get punished for it.
Why?
Yeah, so if this is one more time, honestly, no way out for Kled. At that point, it's just too well set up. Xerxes comes in, he's corralling him, he's standing there, he drops the ward immediately for the Cassio TP. But this is that
This is just so
overextension that you're
dangerous
talking
from
about,
Cassio.
not tracking the resets from the opposing team. Humanoid walking forward, trying to get some vision, but not.
If
understanding
Alistar isn't
that
there,
they've
then
already
Cassio probably
been
gets
there,
chunked and then
they just pile in on him.
Kale is
getting
like on the
shutdown
way.
and denying
But
the
just
trophy.
the team is starting Herald and you're walking through there. It was so dangerous. I agree that J4 probably couldn't kill without Alistar being there, but it was still really dangerous for the Cassio to walk that side one way or the other.
Now they don't get the extra money off of plates. Now their plays are going to be stunted a little bit, and they have to wait maybe for another teleport from Humanoid before they can really get it going again.
It's definitely not the best, but Vizichachi still quite ahead, very comfortable in this matchup. Really ever since level 1 when Rest kind of had that failed level 1, wasn't able to get the flash follow, he has just been put on the back foot. And this is a matchup where you are forever on the back foot unless you can all in. And his kind of time to do that has passed. So now Rest is going to be less efficient in the side lanes. And honestly, Kled, who's behind, is not very good in team fights either.
You can initiate, but you can't do a whole lot more after that. You can try to waste time, but realistically, Splyce have such good turn. We talked about it in the draft, the Cassiopeia and Kaisa. As a backline, it's always going to be super, super potent. Now Splyce, they are going back towards the Rift Herald. No marksmen, no bot laners can actually show up into the
now
side.
they
It's
finally
just
get
gonna
it.
be objective.
With their support roaming. That's how it should have been done. They did it. The earlier timing they tried to do it was really troll.
Go down without getting something else. They are now set up on the bottom side of the map.
Kaisa backing up, making sure she doesn't get dope. Good on her.
Plates on the top side for Vizichachi. He can push in.
Splyce is playing better
as the Herald drops.
early. I would even say this is going into mid game because you're getting Herald.
There from Chachi. Now, J-Team have completely
They're not going to be able to get any plating with the Herald due to it being after 14 minutes. Oh, that's maybe why they tried to do it early. Because they really want to get Herald before 14 minutes.
Like the response here from Splyce to drop the Herald down mid lane when no one
Got top turret, going to be able to get mid turret. JT can't get bot. Really good movement.
Breaking mid so incredibly crucial. The lantern comes
Just
out,
keep kiting, just keep kiting the Kled, just keep kiting the Kled. Yep. If Kled went in all the way there, it would have been really bad for the Kled.
And that's just not going to result in much of anything. Stops the tower from dropping, though. Crucial for Rest to stop that play.
It's a little bit of zoning, but it's not like there was any follow-up even possible, right? You know, the rest of the squad is on the other side. His AD is still in the bottom lane. Even if he got straight on top of Humanoid, I don't think they really have the ability to take him down there.
It just feels like trying to buy space for the mid lane tower, making sure that it will not drop, because we know how much easier it's going to be for Splyce to play this game out once they do manage to break that mid lane open.
And J-Team would rather trade the Drake by losing the ultimate on Rest. They're not really looking to contest on that objective. They're much more willing to lose the Ocean Drake than they are that outer mid lane tower because of all its importance.
Team fights are going to be really hard.
At this stage of the game, it's going to get a little bit harder for J-Team. We've seen that one clever pick punishing Humanoid. Maybe need to fish for
3 stopwatches on Splyce. If they use it properly, they should be able to outplay team fights a lot. I think the big ones are how much rage Gnar has, and how well Gnar can play in the fight, and how well Splyce uses their stopwatch. That's going to determine the next fight.
Do more here, because as you mentioned, while the gold isn't too far apart, the game does get harder as we move later on.
2,500 is not an insignificant gold lead at 15 minutes into the game.
I'm going to be honest, I could not read that from this distance. I thought it said 2,300. I did not bring my glasses today.
Well, it's pretty good gold lead, right? And they've gotten a number of turret plates. The only turret plates
Let's
that
see
J-Team
if both teams are willing to fight for
no
this ocean.
so they weren't actually in range.
Neither team really has to
That
fight
means
for the
that
ocean, but they can fight for it if they feel like, oh, we're stronger in the team fight. Splyce should feel stronger in the team fight.
So didn't get anything from it.
Just need to wait humanoid level 11. Humanoid now has Ferris also.
Zanya's going to allow him to make very aggressive plays. You can see both supports focusing around this mid lane. A lot of all-in potential with the Thresh Cassio as well as the Kayle Alistar on the opposite side.
One thing we always have to consider when we look forward in towards these team fights is that Splyce, they don't necessarily have to hard force with their spells that do engage. You have the Gragas spell, you have hooks. You don't necessarily have to throw your body into the fight where you can't disengage. Whereas J-Team, they absolutely must. Yes, they have tanky tools, but a Jarvan, once he's in the fight, he is in the fight. Same goes for Alistar, same for Kled. So when they are playing at a deficit, J-Team must be absolutely sure of these fights they take. Oof. They know they must have a numbers advantage or, you know, be able to find that perfect flank. Otherwise, you're going to be jumping into a whole lot of stats that you just can't make up for in the gold.
And then it feels like it's all eyes on Fofo, which for J-Team I think is no strange place to be, but the Kayle ultimate's going to be crucial for a lot of these champions who want to go in, even when at a deficit, and can be
Splyce not willing to take the dragon?
A massive source of damage if they play out the team fights correctly.
If you can get the Kled ulting in on top of Kabe,
they have so much control. They can just start dragon. Maybe they're waiting for the rift or scuttle to die. But they have so much control. They just have to time it with the Gnar Mega, making sure he's at yellow rage whenever they start the dragon, and they should be really fun.
It does become pretty significant when you're looking.
They'd rather just take turret. That also works.
I actually think that because of the Kayle on J-Team's side, this is one of the games where when you're playing Gragas, you're not actually using the barrel to engage, but rather disengage. Now TP behind.
Kai'Sa didn't take the...
not going to be able to walk back to the lantern, but the Kled will not find an ult.
Oh, they got the lantern. Oh my god.
He's going to grab it there perfectly right as it's about to time out, but now they have to flash, they have to retreat. But they're locked
this is fine, this is fine.
Going to be allowed to free fire the feathers. They're going to be pulled back, and Norscaron going to go down.
This should be fine. Still should be fine.
Hold them back. The knockup is there.
Oh my god.
But he might not have time. Damage is coming.
Oh, there's the Gnar. Oh.
There it is.
Too disgusting.
And Vizicachi sends a message to J-Team. They want to continue the fight. The feathers are pulled back. Humanoid's in trouble. The Kled goes in, and he goes right back out.
Humanoid actually kind of trolling
on the retreat
here.
now. Vizicachi can't chase down. Still mega mini.
Let's rewatch this. This should have been so good for Splyce. Because they started by dodging both engages.
When you're playing Gragas, you're not actually using the barrel to engage, but rather disengage. Now TP behind.
Here comes the TP.
Kabe dodges engage. Xerxe able to dodge engage. Oh my god, that's so troll. That's so troll. So what happened was Gragas E'd and Alistar tried a W. Gragas E, whenever you use the E, you get a bigger hitbox, so you can beat pretty much any kind of dash skill, right? So when an Alistar W and a Gragas E meets, the Gragas E will overpower the Alistar W. So that's why he was able to take the lantern, and that's why Alistar W got cancelled out.
Xerxe caught in the middle of the entire team. He's gonna grab it there perfectly.
Oh, he messed up so bad here, the Thresh.
The lantern, but the Kled will not find an ult. Xerxe caught.
Also, why is the Cassio walking into? Like, this is a situation where Gnar is pushing, and they have 4 people on this side. All they have to do is walk backwards, and they have to keep kiting, and they can create such an awkward situation for J-Team where they have 5 people bot side and they can't engage. They already used their engage tools, and they can keep kiting, but Splyce, like, Humanoid walked into them.
The middle of the entire team.
And then, like, they're trying to engage her instead of walking back and letting Gnar get the free push. This is so troll. Like, this engage situation is bad, but Cassio has, like, a really good ult angle here, and then now Gnar's TPing in, and Kabe's on the other side. It's bad that Kabe's on the other side, as when you have double backliners, both backliners want to be on the same side, so Kabe wants to be on the same side as Cassio, and they want to keep hitting the same target.
Locked him in the Cataclysm. Fofo
not able to do damage. Not able to do
damage. Be pulled back, and Norscaron gonna go down. Still has the cooldown. Can still pull them back. The knockup is there. Vizicachi slow. Gonna be pulled back, and Norscaron gonna go
feathers
down.
right here, not respecting the feathers. 2 people got rooted. Alistar able to get a nice knockup.
But he might not have time. Damage is coming in. He's got mega.
This fight was so messy. I don't think either team played it like excellent.
J-Team. They want to continue the fight. The feathers are pulled back.
J-Team engage was too overeager. Splyce didn't have to handshake the team fight and just could have pushed top.
Mega Mini will come out, but a very even fight, all things considered.
Really close fight. It could have been so much better for J-Team, but they lost.
They could have made a lot of things so
going
different.
mega there. They had all their
And
eyes
Splyce
on
come out
Humanoid,
ahead,
who's getting
but
very low,
there just was
and
better
wanted to
things
try
for them to
pile
do.
in and kill him, but that allowed Chachi to get that perfect Mega Gnar.
Yeah,
They
he
didn't
absolutely
realize they had
did.
full
Turns
control of the
into a
fight,
team
and they
fight
could have
win
just kept
overall.
fighting,
2-for-2
but they kept
power
getting roped
goes
into
the way of
fighting.
Splyce. You see this from the start. I think Xerxes plays it really well to try and escape here, kiting away so it doesn't look like he
Over. Fight here, over. Just keep backing up and let the Gnar foot push.
wants to pick up the lantern.
But like they're trying to
watch this
hook,
here. He
Humanoid's
misses the
walking
hook,
back
which
in, they're
basically is
just
a
doing
self-inflicted
so many dumb
CC
stuff.
to set up for this 3-man ulti on Cortana, who also gets the Kayle ult on top, so he can't go down.
Now watch
Two
the
people
teams
get rooted.
Try to step forward, turn back, step forward, turn back. Avoid that ultimate. Now it's used. They're saying, all right, go for Humanoid. They try to charge through, and they just lost track of Chachi there. As soon as the Cassio ult was out, they thought the fight was theirs.
I mean, Fofo is frontlining on a Kayle who used his ultimate on the tank Jarvan to get in towards that start of the fight, so could have definitely been a big win for them. Now J-Team still down in gold overall. We mentioned the tower went the way of Splyce there, so I do like the idea there from J-Team. We talked about how they had to be absolutely sure about the fights that they do initiate. That was definitely one that was in their favor, but they have to still be very, very vigilant of the items coming through, especially now that Humanoid has that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. It becomes even more difficult to turn and run away from a bad fight that you take.
Especially with Phase Rush, right? You're able to kite back, you're able to chase forward and try to secure a lot of these kills, but we do need to see Norskeren being on point because that fight also could have been even more in the favor of Splyce had they played that a little bit better. But here comes the engage again.
That's the tower defense ulti. We've seen this before from Rest.
Seems appropriate. Just wants to take a break there in the mid lane. We'll stop Splyce from pushing in for more. And while the gold lead definitely in the favor of Splyce, 3K, this team. Vizicachi is really the big thorn in the side right now for J-Team because while most of the team can match Splyce, can stop them from pushing in for more, they can't stop Vizicachi as well. And this top lane tier 1 will not be a worthwhile trade for the bottom tier 2 as Splyce just look to continue to extend their lead.
Well, it's really interesting because J-Team clearly had done their research because we saw Koala walk all the way in towards Splyce's topside jungle trying to sit and wait to find a pick on an individual Splyce member that went to farm side lanes. We talk all the time about how Splyce do get picked like that in the mid game, but this time Splyce much more coherent on that call. Decide let's just split the map right down the middle. We'll trade.
Splyce still has 3 Salt Watchers they can use.
Pick up a Drake on top of it. And just
Cassio Kaisa scaling nicely. Kayle Xayah also scaling nicely. J-Team wants to wait for Xayah Infinity Edge and then they'll fight.
But at this point,
the big difference is top lane.
They're willing to actually just let the Kled get more behind in lieu of getting that Kayle ahead, right? They want to really put all
Nar's
the gold
massively ahead on
get
the
the solo
Kled.
turret gold, get all the experience.
Nar has the
because
highest
they're
gold in
saying,
game,
all right, all the
9K.
eggs are in the Kayle basket at this point. Just allow this Kled to be an ultimate, to be a way into the fight, and not much
Like
else.
on average, people have 7k gold and the Nar has fucking 9k. He's 2k up on the average.
Funneling the gold into their respective carries, so a lot of eyes on him to be the Mega Gnar in the fight, to make sure when that engage comes in, he has the perfect answer for all those champions.
Nar face checking first. So good for them.
Be careful, the hook will not connect. Splyce now just taking
They don't have the damage to insta-burst Nar, even when he's in mini and face checking people.
They have a Kaisa. Very easy for them to threaten the Baron with this composition.
Splyce just waiting for their flashes to come back up. For the big Gragas.
Oh, but it's not going the right way. The Kled is going to get hooked. Good body block.
Nar ult for Xayah ult trade is
Could have
fine.
been a disaster, but now pressure in the mid lane. Splyce still not able to break down the tier 1 mid.
Especially because you have a Gragas on the team, now Xayah is really vulnerable.
Are able to burn his ultimate. Now that he doesn't have the flash, it becomes very risky for him to position forward on the map. Now, one thing that our European Cassiopeias like to do is go side lanes. We've seen it from Nemesis, now Humanoid too, because Cassio wins basically every single 1-versus-1 matchup, especially the more items you get on this pick. She just drains down single targets. So something that J-Team need to look out for is that side lane matchup, because even Fofo with some items I think is going to struggle. So they need to either isolate that matchup and be able to find a pick with Hana or Koala, or just keep dodging it around and only pick up the minions as they crash into tower.
And vision control will be so important for Splyce to ensure that it is a 1v1. Because if you push up too far in that side lane and all of a sudden Kled is coming through with an Alistar and multiple members, then you really can get knocked down. Especially when you're playing top side of the map like Humanoid, because they're not even far away from that barrier.
It is Vizicachi, Mega Gnar on the way. Tries to use the Randuins to slow down the opposition there. But his threat from the side, as well as the Gragas barreling forward, does mean that they will finally break tier 1 mid. This is going to open up a lot of options for Splyce.
Splyce showing they're tracking the cooldowns, because Little V's flash was just seconds away from coming up as they made that crash through.
This team fight's hella important. Let's see how they do it.
Little V's ultimate on the previous play, the cooldown on Mega Gnar, lower than that of Xayah, especially after those nerfs. So now they're able to take a lot more control, potentially look for a bit more.
Some pretty important items have come through, though, for J-Team. You can see both Kale and Nazaya are on 2 items now and are going to be markedly stronger than they have been before. You know, heavy amounts of AD on this Xayah. The Kale is getting a lot of CDR. The healing starts to ramp up. The damage on the ultimate also. So if you can execute on the fight properly, J-Team does have ways to win.
Chachi's just poking for Mega Gnar charge right now, and they're always going to have Norskeren sitting in that bush, waiting for a hook. One good hook lands, you can find the initiation.
Wasn't that one, but now team has control of the mid lane. As Chachi gets closer and closer to filling that rage bar, J-Team eventually will be forced to back off. Cannot risk getting all in on, but still going to go in for the fight.
This kind of fight starts not that great. Gnar's on this side. Gnar has such a good flank angle, and there's 2 walls here. It would be even more ideal for Splyce if they had Kai'Sa all the way here, but she can always ult in the fight if she needs to. This Gnar angle is way too good. And they're starting on Norskeren. Oh my god, this guy cannot land a hook to save his life.
Flash of safety misses the follow-up hook, and now
Still
suddenly
really
it's
good.
Chachi in the midst of the entire team. Rage
Still
bar
good.
slowly but surely stacking up.
Still good.
Gnar
Gnar
could be a
has
problem now
flash.
for J-Team. Have they tried to start a fight that they cannot win? That's one knock to the wall, but the feathers pull back.
Wait, what the fuck is Cassio doing? Wait, Cassio. Cassio.
J-Team for now are in
Cassio.
Humanoid's in trouble now, too.
What the fuck?
Goes over.
Cassio chased the All-Star.
Humanoid, there does so much damage. Humanoid, be careful. That's gonna be the petrifying gaze. He's looking for one more, but it might not be enough. Little V.
Oh my god.
Needs to get more damage down in the fight. 2 have dropped. Splyce are turning the fight. A good flash from Fofo, but Splyce will find it in the end.
Splyce could have done so much better for that fight.
Had a sick play to pull Hana out of his flag and drag that.
It worked out, but Cassio fucking chased the All-Star.
They are on the Baron here. Koala is low.
They could have like scrunched in that fight.
Faster and faster. Fofo walks up to the pit, but
instead Cassio went off. Like instead of the fight being like, holy, they're starting the fight on Gnar, we're gonna smash them guys. Cassio's like, I'm gonna chase the support.
Of this game.
Humanoid did so much work in that team fight. Great stuff coming through from him, because at the start, it did not look good at all here for Splyce, but he's able to turn it around, finish off his 3rd item after the fight. All eyes on this player at his first international event too, because you can see in this play, it starts off with J-Team really good engage after they see the rest.
Here, just crush them. Just go in. You have so much good flank angles.
It was a great sidestep from Hana, and you're going to see Chachi just getting a little bit overconfident here. He comes out of that.
Stop! Stop! You're zoning him. Stop! Go here.
He wants to go for it.
I don't think this was that bad for him. It was just so bad that Cassio did not go. Like Cassio getting W down here, like people being ready.
Fantastic though. If he actually landed that Mega Gnar onto Lil V, maybe it looks differently. But you can see the Splyce carries couldn't even enter the fight. Humanoid's on the side, Kabe's on another side.
It's not that Splyce carries couldn't enter the fight. One of the Splyce carries saw a shiny thing on the ground.
He landed the hook at the start to stop Hana from taking that EQ in, and then of course that zoning tool right there with the hook as well forces another flash out of Fofo too. So in that team fight, Norskeren showing up, and now on the thresh, he's got himself a Shirelia's Reverie, so he wants to get the whole crew involved in the next fight.
Wow, Shirelia's, that's not an item I've seen in a while.
Allow him to reposition. The Kled ulti is so telegraphed. You can say, oh, we're fighting in a pinch. How about not anymore? We'll zoom the entire team right out, and it will no longer be a threat. Humanoid's so far ahead now, quite easy for Cassio to solo this Drake, and J-Team are in full survival mode. All they can do is hold on. It's a 6k deficit in a Baron. They just have to try as best as they can not to lose too much.
Yeah, Kabe now has the Nashor's Tooth completed, so he should be sitting at the triple evolve. That's wait.
Why is like Cassio now grouped with the team? Just you have 2 strong backlines, and even Thresh can be like a peel champion. The way they're playing it is like Cassio's operating by herself.
There from Humanoid.
Group
really
with the team, what the
kill,
hell? Humanoid's supposed to be an amazing Cassio player.
That tool that should stop their
but he's like lone wolfing it up.
Wave to work with right now. Chachi not getting a lot of attention thrown up towards his side, so that wave should fizzle out and they should play for mid.
Yeah,
his positioning is more closer to how a LeBlanc would position than a Cassio.
Push in multiple waves, but they're actually looking for a dive here on
Fofo. Available, but I don't think he's going to get a chance to use it. Is now using it, but it might be too little too late. The Kled now coming in. Fofo
fight.
He can't get
what the? What? Let him commit to you. Use Zanya's as other people come in. You have Seraph. You're full HP.
Wants to. The hook lands from Norskeren, and he's going to.
He's playing so timidly.
For the pocket pistol will take him to safety.
And now Splyce, they've got the Baron buff, they got everything they needed. Another wave comes on through, and with Fofo down, that's so much of J Team's damage completely void. You have Kabe split pushing in mid lane as well. So Splyce, in a situation where it looked like this Baron wasn't going to amount to much, have now cracked open everything besides those inhibitor towers.
And I think they can get the inhibitor towers here also. Fofo's still dead for a good 15 more seconds. Kabe is already dealing damage to this one. Humanoid on the other side too.
But pulverized, they can't fully commit. They don't really have any follow-up damage here. Little V not able to
no KO for a while. You guys are fine. No KO.
They have the minions. They should be able to break the base. J-Team, what can they do to respond? Just forced off of this tower. There's so much damage that they can't leap face first into a Cassio.
And Splyce now, they've got the Gragas cask up as well, so they can push J-Team away from this tower. They can take yet another tower if they want to use that spell. Hook barely doesn't connect, but this another structure is falling down. J-Team can't do anything.
Meganar slowly but surely starting to stack. He has a minion wave there to beat him. If he wants to double jump, he can fish for it. Vizichachi just going to bounce right in. Lands it on 2, and Splyce now trying to clean up the fight, desperate to get something back. But both the carries, no, one going down. Fofo is dead. It's all eyes on Little V, but it's just not going to be enough. Desire the pull through the feathers.
Actually, really good Gnar play throughout the game.
A heartbreaker for Little V and a triple kill for Humanoid.
A great initiation from Xerxes, and even better Gnar from Vizichachi, jumping straight into the base and getting another one for Splyce.
Wow, top and jungle first.
To the game from Splyce.
Top and jungle for Splyce played this game really well.
A few trades back and forth, but Splyce will tie themselves up with J-Team 2-2, and Splyce are looking to get out of this group.
And on the eliminate.
Well, pretty well played game from Splyce. I think J-Team had a lot of opportunities, but they just threw their opportunities into the ground, and I really did not like the draft from them. But on the other hand, for Splyce, they did a good job of scaling up. They did a good job taking the team fights. They punished J-Team more so than created great situations for themselves. But when the enemy team has a Kled and you have a stronger backline, like, you can do that a lot of the times. Just overall, Splyce played to their strengths, nothing too crazy. Key takeaways: North Karen didn't int. Xerxes had a really good game. Vizichachi had a really good game.